So my very first time, my very first venture, it was when I was about 26 years old. It was about 2016 at the moment. I was very excited just to like start doing something on the side. I didn't really want to be working on a job forever. I was smart enough to know that I needed a job, so I had a whole bunch of different jobs. I work at corporate America, Morgan Stanley, I work at Discover, I work at Fidelity. I work a lot in the financial industry and in sales. I work at car dealerships. I work at moving companies, at the fields. Like I did whatever it is that I needed to do to make sure that I survive, to make sure that I can pay my bills, pay my car payment, pay whatever it is that I need to pay. But my main project was always what I was doing on the side. And I started a little bit messy. When you're first starting something new, you always just kind of like going around without knowing so much what you're doing. Sometimes you have a lot of luck because you try so much, you try over and over and over again, and eventually you're able to make it. But let me tell you, the first business I tried in 2016 was Shopify dropshipping. I'm sure you remember back in the day when like people like Hayden Bowles and I don't know, many of those Shopify gurus that they were just teaching how to make money drop shipping. Basically, you have a product that you get from AliExpress, and then you set up a Shopify site, you run some ads to it, back when ads were affordable, and then you just get products shipped from China to the US. And once someone makes a purchase on your website, then you make the purchase and then you ship it directly to the customer's house. So I remember very vividly how my first dollar in life felt. It took me about 6 months to make my first dollar in life from Shopify dropshipping, and it felt great. And even though I've been making money online consistently all of this time, I wasn't able just to replicate that feeling. I wasn't able just to. It does feel good to live off my own work, of course, but I wasn't able just to replicate what it felt just to make that first dollar online. But okay, so it took 6 months to get to that point, and after that, I was able just to make it somewhat profitable. I did Shopify dropshipping for about a year, and I was able just to make, in sales, I was able just to make $4,000 or $5,000 a month, but profit was only about $1,000, $1,500 at the most. And sometimes I would just spend a lot of money on ads. If I would have taken a little bit longer, I would probably been able to make it work a lot better than I did. Now looking back, I was just very impatient. What fucked me over at the time, also, that I'm thinking about it right now, is that I lost my job at the moment. So I wasn't just able just to keep with the infrastructure and all the ads that I was running. And it took me a while just to get another job. I quit Shopify dropshipping, and I quit e-commerce altogether because I was putting so many hours and I was putting so much work into it just to make between $800 and $1,500 a month that I thought it was just not worth it to continue, and I was just off into something else. And if you're hearing this right now, it is very common for someone who started entrepreneurship not to end up doing long term what they started with. This is extremely common to do. So after I quit Shopify dropshipping, I decided to, after a little bit of research, to start doing social media marketing, SMMA. If you go to older YouTube videos in here, you will find a whole bunch of videos of me cold calling and a whole bunch of related content when it comes to SMMA. How to run ads, how to get these customers results, and a whole bunch of different content when it comes to SMMA, right? And now this is where things got interesting, because I did SMMA for about 3 years, and it worked great for a little while. I was able just to quit my job after 1.5 years of doing SMMA, and I was just able to move to Mexico, and I was able just to like cut my cost of living, and I was able just to live off my own work. And I was just working with different clients. I have 3 to 4 clients at the moment that was doing different kinds of work, basically running ads, helping them convert sales. I was working with a glass company. I was working with a pressure washing company, and with some car dealerships as well. But here's the thing. It was so fucking stressful just to be doing that job. After all, like doing SMMA, it depends a lot on your capability of getting these clients results. And don't get me wrong, like I did get many of the clients that I was working with, I got them amazing results. They were able just to close deals, they were able just to grow. I was able to help them improve their website. I was able to help them make more money, to have a better positioning online. I was able just to do a lot of different things with these customers that it was great. And some customers, especially at the beginning, not so well. I was not able to get some clients the results that they were expecting, and that is completely normal. But what I didn't like about SMMA, not everyone is a good client to work with. When you're dealing with so many clients that they have businesses, they have different personalities, there's different, you're dealing with all their fucking bullshit when it comes to like things that they have in their head, because a lot of business owners are very stubborn and they just, it's very hard just to help them. And you're also dealing with your business. And something that I was doing as well is and that I stopped doing it very late, back in the day when I was doing still social media marketing, is I was helping them with conversions. So basically, what I was doing is I was running their ads, doing all the copy, managing their website, and at the same time managing their leads, helping them turn those leads into customers. And I was doing that for my glass business that I was working with. I was doing that for the car dealership that I was working with. So it was a lot of fucking work. I'm talking that I was working 8 hours, 10 to 12 hours a day, managing three different businesses that I was working at the time. And at the time I was living in Mexico, and I was not making as much money as I would have liked, right? I was able to make pretty good money, but not as much money as all the stress that I was taking by doing all this work. Now, I'm super grateful with social media marketing. It gave me the head start just to do a lot of things, just to move out of the United States, just to live off my own work for a very long time. Like I said, I was 3 years doing this. Okay, so after that, around 2023, I needed to do something different. I still had some clients that I was working with because I was not enjoying it at the time. I was not really enjoying what I was doing. Even though I was making money, I was just working for myself. I didn't have a boss or anything. And I was living in Mexico, which was great, but it was quite stressful and it was hard to and I was dating a lot at the time as well. So I realized that I needed just to make sure that I build something that is really passive or more passive, because there's no such thing as completely passive income. Pretty much every single thing that you have to do, it requires work, it requires constant work. But I needed just to ensure that I get as close as possible to something passive. Now, so that's when it came into becoming a writer myself. And becoming a writer I stumbled upon, kind of just happened. So before ChatGPT and all these AI tools, I was just writing all the copy myself for clients. I was always somewhat of a copywriter, just writing copy that people can convert. And I always liked the fact of expressing my ideas, expressing my thoughts, expressing what I feel, expressing what I know about how the world works. And at the time, I was very into dating because I was dating in the United States and I was in Mexico. I was dating in Mexico as well. And I realized that a lot of men just make a whole bunch of mistakes when it comes to dating and texting women. So what I did is out of a pure passion that I had at the moment, I wrote this book, How to Text Women, where I teach guys how to like text women in a way that you get what you want, which is basically a date with a woman. You probably want to hook up. You probably just want to see her. You want to just get her attention. All right, and you don't want to get ghosted. So I realized what a lot of men were doing wrong when it comes to texting women. So I put it in my own words into that book. It's so great. Guys really like that book. They really like all the examples that I provided. They really like just the way I explain things. So I created a whole trilogy when it comes to dating, because I have a lot of experience when it comes to dating, when it comes to women. I had both. I had long-term relationships, even marriage, and short-term hookups. So I'm very familiar when it comes to how women think, how women operate, when it comes to dating women from all over the world, when it comes to dating in the United States, dating in Argentina, dating in Mexico. But here's the thing. I did not want to be just a regular dating guru that just talk only about dating, or I did not want to be a dating coach like playing with fire, or like I didn't want to do dating content or my brand just to be based on dating alone. So I found myself in a situation where, okay, I have this dating brand, where people enjoy my content, where people like it, that I can just have some consulting with guys and talk about their dating lives and help them realize a few things that they're doing wrong and all of that, right? But I didn't want to be a dating coach. So I needed to realize, okay, basically it's just I have all this infrastructure that I was able to build. How I'm able to transition from that. You evolve as an entrepreneur. You evolve as a person. Your interests today are not going to be the same interests that you're going to have and probably in a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So you're going to evolve. We all evolve as humans. So right now in 2025 and 2026, my main focus is basically in everything related to metaphysics, how to understand how the work really works. I have a lot of interest in geopolitics. I have a lot of interest about understanding reality, understanding how the world works, understanding, what it really takes to get from poverty to riches. And if you're watching this, you have to ensure that you have a business that you can mold based on how you evolve. If you're able just to have a base awareness about these mechanics, and of course you keep your health, you're going to be able just to pretty much attack everything that comes your way. Because life is not easy, but we do not make it easier on ourselves. Everything depends about how you show up every day and the actions that you take that compound over time.